Hey there everyone, Cyber here at Green Man Gaming, and in this video we're going to go through some of the best ways to survive in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, from how to start out, survival tips, squad tactics, all to help you bring home that chicken dinner. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is take a quick look into your key bindings. Just take a rundown, familiarize yourself with them. Seems like a weird thing to say. There are actually a lot more features in this game than you would think. Let's go over a few of them quickly. By holding the Alt key, you can have your character free look. You can look one way while your character is running in another. Here you can see I'm keeping an eye on this building. This is because I know there's a player in there, and I want to get away from this place as I've already made a lot of noise. And I don't want him to shoot me in the back, so as long as I'm keeping a look behind me while running away, I should be safe. You can shoulder swap the third person camera in this game by pressing Q or E for left and right respectively, and then aim down your sights. This is good for peeking around corners. It keeps you safe while allowing you to shoot at your target. Use this as much as possible. Pressing the B key will change most guns between single fire and automatic fire. You'll want to use single fire for long range engagements so your shots are more accurate, and automatic fire for close to medium range so you can take down your targets faster. This game looks beautiful at ultra settings. However, two of the graphic features in this game make it really hard to spot other players. Let me show you what I mean. I've dropped this helmet and crossbow on the ground. This is the game with very low shadows and foliage. And this is the game with ultra shadows and foliage. You can see how the shadow effects in the high detailed foliage are so detailed they actually block some view of just this crossbow on the ground. Imagine if that was a player. You'd never spot him. Consider turning these settings down to maximize your chances of spotting other players. One more thing about the graphics in this game is that at certain distances, depending on your settings, the foliage and shadows stop appearing and players just stand out as clear as day. The mountains just kind of start to look like Play-Doh, and you can see in this clip of me just sniping at this guy, and he's just so easy to spot. Right, our next tip is practicing. When you start this game, just head towards an area that is going to be populated by other players, such as cities or military bases. Hear me out. I know the aim of the game is to survive the rounds, but if you have no experience with the combat in this game, you're not going to be able to finish it. You'll get down to maybe the last 10, and you can't hit anything with your guns. So go to some populated areas, just find a Kevlar, a helmet and a gun quickly, and just go hunting the other players in the area. You'll get used to the weapons and the playstyle of this game a lot faster instead of getting to maybe one gunfight every 30 minutes in a match. A good spot to get gear without being bothered by other players is the bunkers. It's not actually marked on the map, so not many other players actually come here to loot. So, if you can see on the map, I've marked a red circle. And from the video, you can see it's actually very noticeable from the sky. There are 4 little cave entrances, all grey, outcropping out of this little hill. You want to survive in this game a bit longer, one of the best things you can do is close doors behind you when you're scavenging. If you don't, it's a good indicator that you're in this building and other players will sneak in and just shoot you down. If you close your doors, you may even be able to surprise a player when you're hiding in there and they come inside and they don't expect you to be there and you shoot them in the back full of bullets. Don't use your camera to pick up loot. It takes too long, you may just miss the tiny attachments on the ground. Just open up your inventory, right click the loot you want, and it will just automatically go into your inventory. The same thing happens with your attachments, by the way. They automatically get attached to your guns if you just right click them. And also try not to pick up a lot of useless things. 30+ bandages doesn't really help. Abuse the third person camera and cover. It's vital that you do, or you won't be surviving very long. You'll see players from cover using the shoulder camera, and won't have to throw yourselves into harm's way. It lets you prepare your aim and approach on these players before they've even spotted you. If you take a hit, don't panic, just duck behind cover and heal. Know when to bow out of a gunfight and just move on to a new location. Also, stay topped up, don't reserve your painkillers or energy drinks. You never know when they might actually save you from that extra shot that would have killed you. When travelling about in the game, try not to travel over open fields. Go between rocks or trees and just weave yourself between them. It might be the long way around, but honestly, it's the safer route. You don't want to get sniped out when you're in the open and there's nothing for you to hide behind. Be careful of vehicles. They make a lot of noise and the sound travels far. You're easy pickings if you decide to disembark somewhere in the open. Always assume that you're alerting someone to your presence, so keep to cover when heading out. A lot of things that I see other players don't do is use grenades very effectively. Try to cook them for a little while, only hold them for about maybe 2 seconds, count it in your mind. While they may not have much impact all the time, a direct throw may turn the odds in your favour. Another good thing to do is to stay ahead of the game. The circle that you battle in will shrink over time, If you're always having to run from it at the very last second, you're going to be easy pickings for any other player who's just decided to wait closer to the center of the circle. They're free to fire on you while you desperately have to scramble to stay inside the zone. So I didn't want these tips to be just about solo play since we won our games as a group. So here are some tips for working in a squad. Being able to communicate with your squad effectively is key to surviving in this game. One of the most important things to do is being able to call out targets to your teammates. Try not just to scream out random descriptions, that red building with the shack and the holes in it. Honestly, it feels like it's helpful, but in reality it's not. What you can do is use the compass on the top of your screen as coordinates. Call out the enemy at 330, or use the minimap at the bottom right, say cell F5, L5. These will help your squad establish targets much faster and flank the enemy. Speaking of flanking, try to stay spread out. It may allow another member of your squad to get a shot on the enemy where you cannot. Obviously don't go too far or else you deny yourself the chance of being revived if you're caught off guard. When moving as a squad, consider having one of your guys hang back and keep a lookout. He can alert your team to any enemy squads that are incoming, as well as lay covering fire for you if suddenly your team is caught off guard. That's all the tips that we have for now, and we hope these help you survive on the battlegrounds. If there's any advice that you would like to pass on to the other players here, please share it in the section below, or better yet, share it on the Green Man Gaming community on the website. Thanks for watching, guys.